Hello guys and welcome to a new video. I am Wi-Fi and today we will be playing Yandere Simulator. Originally I was thinking that maybe we could make a little gameplay, but then I had this idea that I could leave you guys with the gameplay in the background and I could read you guys a Reddit horror story. So we have two options. I can make a series of the Yandere Simulator, just like over explaining the game and like commenting on it, eliminating Osana in different ways, or we can make a series of gameplay with Reddit horror stories in the background. Tell me guys what you would like to watch. Leave it in the comments. And let's try with this format first. So today we will be reading a story by the user Faithlessness9628 in the subreddit Let's Not Meet. The story is The Man with the Wooden Leg. I will leave you guys with the story and the gameplay, and please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Snowland and I'm 24 now, but when all this happened I was just 12. I live not far from Paris, but I've loved traveling since I was a kid. For 5 summers straight, from 2009 to 2013, my mom signed me up for summer camps every July. Those camps were amazing. I traveled all over France, camping, hiking mountains, doing caving and rope courses, so many fun activities since I was young, and I loved every minute of it. Then came 2013, which turned out to be the worst year of my life, and the last time I went to camp. That summer, the camp was on Ile d'Oléron, an island in western France connected to the mainland by a big bridge. The island is known for being really hot in summer, amazing local food, nice beaches, and especially a famous monument called Fort Boyard, an old prison in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that once held criminals. The camp was set in the middle of nature. Imagine a group of small buildings arranged in an L shape. On one side was the entrance, on the other side was just thick bushes leading into the forest. The buildings were divided between the kids' dorms, the laundry room, the dining hall, and the instructors' dorms. At that time in my life, I was pretty rebellious and I didn't like to listen. 2 of my friends, Malik and Enzo, came with me, so we were all set for a cozy time. Maybe too crazy. Everything was fine during the first 6 days of camp, and we had so much fun. But on the 7th day, things started going wrong, mostly because of us. That night, we had a campfire game session, played board games, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. After that, the instructors announced lights out, and everyone went to their rooms. Malik, Enzo, and I shared a room, so we brushed our teeth, went to bed. About 25 to 30 minutes later, though, the instructors turned off all the lights. Around midnight, I came up with a terrible idea. A night walk in the forest with my 2 friends. Even though we were only 12 and 13 years old, we opened our window, looked around quickly, and saw that none of the instructors were awake. They were all asleep, probably too tired after the day's activities. We quietly crossed the camp courtyard, sneaking past the buildings and entered the bushes on the far side of the site. We walked about 10 to 15 minutes into the forest. While walking, I was joking around trying to scare my friends with creepy stories. But suddenly, we arrived at the fence of an old abandoned house. The house looked really run down and creepy, like something out of a witch story. Being young and dumb, we decided to at least go into the garden. To our surprise, the gate was open, so we stepped inside. As soon as we started walking in the garden, we heard a huge, loud scream coming from a man with a deep, scary voice. We were so scared that at first we couldn't even understand what he was yelling. Then the front door of the house under the porch opened and we saw a man running towards us. We panicked, nearly crying, and instantly reopened the gate behind us. we ran as fast as we could back toward the camp. We managed to get back and woke everyone up in the middle of the night, so stressed, scared, and panicked that I was crying a lot. The instructors obviously scolded us for being reckless and dangerous, but it was clear from our faces that we were not making it up. We told him what happened and finally went back to our rooms. I couldn't sleep at all that night and kept replaying the scene in my head. One detail stuck with me was, thanks to the moonlight, the man limped and had a wooden leg. But even so, he ran really, really fast. I don't know why, but I had a very bad feeling about the whole thing. I wish that happened the end of the story, but no. On the 9th day, the last day of camp, we were outside doing various activities when the instructor asked if we had our swimsuits. We were going to the pool. I said no and that I needed to go get mine from my room, so I ran alone to the dormitory. About 10 meters away, I opened the door and then I closed it behind me. For some reason, I didn't turn the light. Inside the room, since we had the shutters closed, it was almost completely dark, but some little holes let in a bit of moonlight. At that moment, about 5 meters from me, I saw a tall human-like figure standing still. I couldn't see its face, just a silhouette. I didn't understand what was happening, but I was frozen and I couldn't move. What felt like an eternity, probably just 5 or 6 seconds, I suddenly turned, opened the door, and ran outside screaming that someone was in my room. I ran crying towards the center of the camp where everyone was. An instructor immediately went with some colleagues to check my room, but it was empty. Suddenly, the instructors called everyone to come to my room because they found something terrifying. On the floor, there was a piece of paper with the words, "I will come back tonight," reading on it. I literally froze and cried twice as much as before. That night, the instructors stayed in pairs outside every door so nobody could enter any rooms. Thankfully, no one came back to my room that night. We left camp the next day, but because of those incidents, I never went back to camp after I was 13. It took me a very long time to want to travel again with friends or family to places I didn't know. It wasn't until I was 19 that I dared go on vacation again. When I told my mom about what happened, she told me that I was incredibly stupid and brave. And I did the right thing because whoever was in my room that night did not mean well, especially with that note left behind. But honestly, going in the forest was so freaking stupid. I don't know why we went in that forest. Even 12 years later, questions still haunt me. What was that person in my room? Was it the same man who chased us in the forest? What did he want? And how did he find my room? These questions kept me awake many nights, and I had a lot of nightmares. Like I said at the start, even if I mostly laugh about it now, sometimes I still get anxious over small things. So, to the man in the woods who chased us and then appeared in my room, let's not meet ever again. So this was the story of the man with the wooden leg. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment and subscribe. Tell me, what would you do if you were in the situation that OP was in? I would panic, I would freak out, I would probably cry and call my mom. I would be really scared. Sometimes, the paranormal stuff is not as dangerous. Sometimes, what's scarier is leaving people, not the dead or the ghosts among us. It's just the living people who are scarier than any ghost. So yeah guys, if you like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. Share it with a friend and tell me if you like this format so that I can keep on bringing you quality content to the channel. With that being said, bite fly out, stay hydrated, I love you so much, smooches all over your faces guys, and I will see you in the next video.